And I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder. One of the four beasts saying, "Come and see." And I saw, and behold, a white horse.
Law-abiding biker podcast. Yup. That's right, guys. Welcome back to another loaded episode. Welcome all our fellow bikeaholics out there. We really appreciate you tuning back in. After all, who's this podcast for, Oscar?
The motorcycling majority.
The big MM, the motorcycle majority. And the
99%.
That's right. We cover everything. So, welcome back. Let's get right down into this, guys. Let's drill down.
What?
Whoa.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're not drilling me, sir.
Well, you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen in this episode.
I'm pretty sure I have an idea.
Well, yeah. Welcome, guys. This is Ryan Erlacher, your host of the Law Abiding Biker podcast and your
High-tech redneck.
welcome. Thank you so much for tuning back in. Let's just get right into some material, guys.
Start off with a little Johnny Cash there from iTunes.
We did. Thank you. That was straight from iTunes, Johnny Cash, and I will put a link in the show notes. Great song. What's it called?
When a man comes around. When the man
comes around. Classic song.
Mm-hmm.
What were you talking about, Oscar, before the episode about something and is he sick or what? Johnny Cash from cocaine and
album.
Whatever.
His very last album was he just covered a bunch of songs, and the producer that put it together, he was in pretty bad shape. He was near death, and he didn't have Parkinson's.
The producer was, or Johnny Cash?
No, sorry.
Oh,
the producer kind of resurrected Johnny Cash for all these cover songs, and Johnny Cash was near death.
Did John? You mean my Johnny Cash did drugs? No.
The White Line Fever, that was Merle Haggard, wasn't it?
But he just sung about biblical verses. How can he do drugs?
They had those back in the day.
How do you think he thought about Ring of Fire?
Yeah, true that. Oh, God, dude. So here we are in the studio, guys, and we've got Studio Right, Lurch, and the one, the only, of course, let me do it just for tradition. And Tom Studio left, I've got the one, the only Oscar. Welcome, guys. Thanks for being here.
Hey, my pleasure, bro.
Just happy to be here.
This is an episode, so you guys will want to stick around for this episode. This is an episode that's been requested. I get a ton of emails about our main topic of this episode, and hopefully we will do a permalink for this episode, and we can direct people when they email or they have questions right back to this episode. So it's going to be very, very entertaining. It's going to be very informational, and it's going to be entertaining, Matt.
And what does that equal?
Go ahead, Oscar.
A diaper full of infotainment.
Yeah, dude. Very nice.
Educational.
Let's talk about a little bit. Infotaining, yeah.
Infotaining.
So let's talk about recently. It's funny because that ridiculous show, The Devil's Ride on Discovery Channel, came back. And we're not going to cover it. Obviously, we do Sons of Anarchy episodes, but this show we won't give a lot of attention. But I do watch some news and get some feeds. This was an awesome Twitter deal, and it's from February here, and it was from one of the episodes. But it was a Twitter, dude, and I've got a news article here. But Kurt Sutter, obviously, if you guys don't know, is the creator of Sons of Anarchy. Very outspoken individual. If you follow him at all on Twitter, I don't agree with everything he says, but I'm just saying
he's in a position to say whatever he wants.
Right. So it is what it is. He's in Hollyweird, he's in the Hollyweird scene. And so anyways, but it's funny to watch because and they did it last year, and he absolutely trashes The Devil's Ride, which I think is funny because it deserves to be trashed. Those guys are a bunch of fools, a bunch of wannabes. And so, yeah, I don't pay much attention to the show, but I do think it's funny when Kurt starts banging back and forth, I guess, so to speak, on these social media platforms.
Banging.
Yeah, banging. So Kurt is the producer of that. And then he talks in here. Do you guys remember who the producer? Anyways, Kurt, apparently, we talked about it last year, but he had the original idea. And then he went with Sons of Anarchy because he didn't want to make a show like Devil's Ride, part fantasy and try to play it off as real. So he did the Sons of Anarchy and so this kid or this guy is the creator. And does it say in there, John, is Jason Hart? Okay. The creator of that, Devil's Ride is Wayne Arnold. And he played Wayne Arnold, he played Wayne Arnold. It's Jason Harvey, but he played Wayne Arnold on the long running series. And Kurt Sutter says, he's on his tweet, he says, the fat one from the Wonder Years. and he's talking about Jason Harvey, who played Wayne Arnold on that long running series. So, and then it's funny because Jason Harvey comes back at him a little bit, but he's got nothing. He's absolutely got nothing. And they go back and forth. And in fact, I had a link to a tweet here before the podcast episode. We tried to look it up. It's been pulled.
Gone.
And I don't know if Twitter pulled it because of the raciness of it, or if Kurt pulled it or what, but that link is no longer active. But this is a really quick article, guys, and I will put it in, but you need to really listen to this. So instead of me boring you and reading it, I'm going to have my assistant read it.
There's some real-life motorcycle club drama flaring up on Twitter, though it's not exactly as heart-wrenching as the weekly goings-on of Sons of Anarchy. Sons creator Kurt Sutter has taken aim at The Devil's Ride, an unscripted series on Discovery that follows San Diego, California.
Is your assistant high?
Yeah, he's high.
Jeez.
He meant to say the California Motorcycle Club, so let me finish the rest.
Okay.
It all started Saturday, February 10th, when Sutter sent out a tweet to his followers. In it, he wondered if The Devil's Ride had been canceled or not and questioned the legitimacy of the clubs that take part in the show. That didn't sit well with a member of the Laughing Devils,
oh, no,
who are also on Twitter. From there, a profanity-laced exchange ensued.
Ooh.
That's why it got pulled.
Is Devil's Ride still on? My thespians are harder than these kiss. Don't take my word. Ask any OMC in the ****ing world. Sutter writes, one of the devils, who goes by Mad Max for one reason or another, responded with, F*******, you talk a lot of S****** from the keyboard.
Ridiculous.
Sick, completely ignoring that he was in fact typing his message on a keyboard. Sutter offered a simple, you're just jealous because I can spell.
So I want to read that a little bit.
The guy spelled keyboard in 2 words instead of one. Yeah.
No, he put it. Yeah. So he says, is Devil's Ride still on? And that's what Kurt Sutter says. And he says, my thespians, if you don't know what thespians are, I looked it up, but it's basically actors. It's another fancy word for actors. My thespians
goes back to Shakespeare time.
Are harder than your bitches. That's why my guy that's reading it says, B asterisk, because he can't read it. It's the computer, obviously. But these bitches don't take my word. Ask any OMC, and I think he meant OMG, in the effing world. Sutter writes, one of the devils who goes by Mad Max. Oh, that's tough. Mad Max. For one reason
Why is he so angry?
For one season or another, responded with F you. You talk a lot of S word. Asterisk. From that key, that keyboard, he did. He spelled it.
That's not totally inaccurate either.
No, and he did spell it with 2 words, completely ignoring that he was in fact typing his message on a keyboard. Sutter offered a simple, "You're just jealous because I can spell." Funny stuff. Let's finish the rest of this. We're almost done, and then we'll get into our main stuff here. But here we go. And there's no more swear words. Well, there is one,
asterisk,
so you're going to hear asterisk, just one, and it's the S word. So here we go.
That wasn't all for Sutter, who had more things to say about the show, like, if your MC has agreed to become a show, you are now reality TV stars. You've traded legacy pride for cash fame. And you are in my circus, and I may have to buy all the Devil's chocolate Valentine hearts. Their feelings are so hurt, especially the fat one from The Wonder Years. The fat one from The Wonder Years is Jason Harvey, who played Wayne Arnold on the long-running series. He also happens to be the creator of Devil's Ride and has a message of his own for Sutter, also delivered via Twitter.
Here we go.
Man, you talk S******.
That's the S word.
You put your cast in front of you, but not you. He tweets, EP versus EP.
I don't know what that means.
Anytime.
I don't
Get
know either.
yours, we'll get
Say
mine.
EP?
As for what he's challenging Sutter to exactly, that's anyone's guess.
I think I know.
The Devil's Ride airs Mondays at 10 p.m. ET on Discovery. If you want to know what you're missing, check out the video below.
And we're not going to check out the video below
That
because
wasn't
we
all.
ain't missing anything
I
on
think
the Devil's.
it's-
So no, here's what he said, and then chime in just so the
Okay.
audience make sure they can hear it. But he says he tweets, and this is the Jason Harvey, the fat kid from the Wonder Years. Man, you talk S. You put your cast in front of you, but not you. He tweets, quote, EP versus EP any time. Get yours, we'll get mine. I have, and even this article doesn't know what they're talking about. EP versus EP, you get yours.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Go ahead.
Executive producer.
That's what I read it to
So
be.
it's basically
Very nice.
you and me, big boy.
Wow.
So the fat guy
I
from
ne-
the Wonder Years wants to take on Kurt a little bit crazy. Sutter.
Dude, there's no way with Sons of Anarchy, dude. You cannot have. What do you?
You don't mess with chubby people, though. I'm
You
just saying.
you've probably been watching the Devil's Ride.
I've watched all 3 episodes.
Oh, geez.
I mean, seasons.
have you watched this year?
No.
Is it okay? I was gonna say
It's on DVR.
I watched the first one and turned it off. I've never watched another one since.
It's real life. Knock it off.
Yeah,
Real life?
and we can't hear you because you didn't talk in your mic at all.
It's real life, people.
BS.
We heard an echo in the background. But anyways,
It's just him breathing on the microphone.
yeah, that's enough of that. I just wanted to tell you guys, and I'll put a link to that article because the Twit link. See, there was a lot of swearing, and I think Twitter got a hold of it and must have pulled it because it's a 404 page now. But anyways, real quick, guys, don't forget about Dent Dynamics episode, and I'm not even going to tell you what number because all you need to do is go to lawabidingbiker.com/Dent Dynamics. You can get all the show notes there. You can learn everything from Daniel Grom, who is he's also invented several tools we talk about for paintless dent removal. You can send your tanks to him. You can send your fenders to him. He'll get them back to you. And in that episode, it tells you everything how to do it. Don't waste your money paying your deductible to grab a new tank because they don't want to color match it. Just trust me, lawabidingbiker.com/Dent Dynamics, and you will learn how you can get your dent removed from your tank or your fenders without any paint, without any Bondo and all that kind of stuff. He's out of Santa Rosa, California. And so just go back there and listen to that if you ever want to and pass it on to people. All right.
He'll pop your dent.
There you go. He will pop your dent straight up from Lurch. All right. Yeah, that a boy. So we've got a voicemail. We're going to get into our main topic. Thank you guys for the support you've been showing. We have, like I've told you guys, not this episode yet, but we have a ton of voicemails, a ton of emails, and I appreciate it. As I always say, I am humbled at how fast this platform is growing. It is unbelievable, and I'm having very much troubles keeping up with my full-time law enforcement job and on my days off trying to do this. What I mean by keeping up, I don't have troubles keeping up with my law enforcement job. I have troubles keeping up with this. And that's because on my days off, I have to try to catch up on all the emails and all the voicemails, and I so much appreciate it, and I want them coming in. It's just to a point now where I just simply cannot get them all on. I used to be able to get them all on episodes. I can't do it now, but just rest assured, and I respond to them for sure. I will respond to you, but whether it makes it on episode or not just depends on what I have lined out for episodes and that kind of stuff, and it falls in line with that. But we certainly want your feedback. Keep sending them. I love them, and we have a lot of voicemails, and I'm saving them, and I'm going to play one now. But please send your voicemails. Those are highly likely to make it over emails, just because the voicemails work out so well. lawabidingbiker.com/voicemail or /voice message, and you can do that. Or you can call our hotline number directly from a phone if you don't want to get on the internet and leave an internet voice message with your computer microphone. You can call 509-731-3548. That is Law Abiding Biker, and you can leave a voicemail, and I can certainly play that on episode. All right. Here's our voicemail, and this guy saw my SGS. He actually left this on our hotline at 509-731-3548, and so you'll get to listen how a voicemail message sounds. And he saw my SGS, my Street Glide Special with Vance and Hines slip-on mufflers. my free video on the Lab website, and it's also on YouTube. And you can see that blog and that free video at lawabidingbiker.com/twin/rounds, getting a ton of hits. And he wants to know a little bit about remapping his fuel injection. And that is why we have Oscar in the studio today, because he is absolutely... I've tried to educate myself, and I'll tell you, there's not a lot of educated people out there on it. So it's growing fast, and there's a lot of information out there on blogs and different things. So we're going to try to bring it to at least a little bit of a semblance of understanding here in the studio. And I don't know what's going on over there, but
I don't either.
I can't. I'm practicing only turning my eyes.
Oh, is that why you're okay? You're eyeballing me out of the left corner of your eye.
all right. Here
It's
goes
not the same.
Here goes the message, I think. All right. Stand by to stand by.
Searching,
Yeah,
looking through the computer.
And I don't know why that's
I'm not sure where it's at.
it's very strange.
Maybe I'll look at the next file.
So, yeah. So we'll be right back with you guys. I got to get this voicemail up and running, and we're going to pause for just a second.
Redneck.
All right, guys. I found had a little technical difficulty there, but here is the voicemail. Let's play it.
I have a question. You guys put a 2014 Amber Whiskey Street Glide on a blog with Vance and Hine slip-ons. I want to know if you have to retune it or put a stage 1 kit. I would like the slip-ons, but I don't want to have to pay to have it retuned. Thanks.
All right, Oscar. What do you? Why don't you go ahead and answer that question? And we get this question a lot. I get it via email and voicemails. He's the only one that sent a voicemail. We've talked about it on past podcast, but this is going to be the go-to episode for electronic fuel injection EFI mapping. So go ahead and go answer that now.
So the question, they do nothing else but just put on the slip-ons.
You want me to play it again?
No, that's what he said, right?
Yep.
What say you?
Back in the year of our Lord 1340,
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
God invented carburetors.
Yes.
And then in the late 1970s, someone invented fuel injection.
Right.
So we're going to talk about fuel injection.
Correct.
Sometime in the late 90s, someone also invented, what are those little things that screw into your exhaust? For crying out loud, really? O2 sensors.
Oh, O2 sensors. You're right.
So
Yep.
09 and newer Harley Davidson motorcycles came with the O2 sensors. So what that allows it to do is measure what's coming in, the air, into the intake, and the fuel, and it's measuring the amount of fuel and air burned as it's coming out. Called closed loop.
Very nice.
The big deal about fuel injection and mapping came from 99 to 06. When Harley in 99 went to fuel injection, they were open loop. So there was no O2 sensors. They were measuring what's coming in, but it had no idea what was going out. So if you leaned it out, meaning you put different flow mufflers and a air intake on it, the map only knew what it thought was coming in. So if you have a new bike, a 2014 SGS, the Street
Glide Special
in Amber Whiskey,
thank you very much.
then it'll have O2 sensors, narrowband O2 sensors. So theoretically, the bike knows what's coming in and going out. So if you just put mufflers on, you shouldn't have to remap it.
Right.
Because it's measuring the air-fuel ratios that's coming in, and it's measuring it as it's going out. And the narrowband O2 sensors will make adjustments for that. That's how O2 sensors work.
Okay, and that's awesome because that's kind of a segue right into what we're going to talk about. But to answer his question, what say you? I have my answer. What say you?
I say no. No, he doesn't need a remap.
Okay.
I would say that he's probably right, but why wouldn't you? I mean, you're taking the time to put the mufflers on and open the motor up.
Thank you.
Why not just do the remap in the intake and really get some...
Well, he only
You know
asked
what?
about the
Hey, hang on.
mufflers, though.
But you know why he wouldn't?
Why? Cost?
Because he doesn't know how to do this.
I can ride my bike with no handlebars. No handlebars.
I played it for you
Perfect
guys.
spot. That's a good spot.
I can ride my bike with no handlebars. With no handlebars. No handlebars.
Look at me, hands in the air like it's got to be alive. I'm a famous rapper. Okay, anyways.
Oh, keep going.
Sorry,
Don't let us down.
I guess
I got a little out of control there. I apologize.
I guess he probably wants the sound. He's probably happy with the performance. Wants a little better sound out of it. That's probably where he's going.
And that makes perfect sense. And
It
he doesn't
does.
want to spend the money, which
Sure.
happens all the time.
I get it.
Here's what I'll say, and we've said it in past episodes. Just, it doesn't matter if, and I understand that you don't want to spend the money, and he doesn't have to. And I'll agree with you. He's just putting on slip-on mufflers. If you're not changing the headers and you're not doing anything with the catalytic converters, the cats, or nothing like that, and you're just putting some simple slip-on mufflers, then no, you don't need to. Caveat to that is, I encourage everybody, regardless if you're changing, even if you're gonna keep stock headers and stock pipes, I strongly encourage. And again, we'll get into the aftermarket electronic fuel and the tuners and all that. And you may change your mind because you may want to get one of these products that we're going to talk about. But at minimum, if you're not going to get one of these aftermarket ones, which are really awesome, and Oscar knows a lot about them, at least get your bike remapped, no matter what. And the reason is because it automatically. Here's another way. Harley. I love Harleys. I love my bike. I'll never change. But and like I say here at the podcast and Law Abiding Bike Community, we support all bikes. We actually ride with some people, not in the club, but people with metric bikes. I have no problem with them. I'm just lucky. That's what I choose to ride, and I've been blessed that I can afford that because they are rather spendy. But it's another way Harley gets you coming and going is when you get it remapped, it automatically changes your RPM rev limiter from 5,500 to 6,500, which straight out of the box is going to give you more power.
No, that's not entirely true.
That's bull. That's bull.
Well, you can you raise the rev limiter. The stage 1 download advances the timing in certain areas and increases the air-fuel ratio in the high throttle areas as well. So the rev limiter.
So it's going to give you something.
Yeah, but not just the rev limiter. I mean, that's
no. I say they do more, and we're going to talk about that. But do you agree? Straight out of the box, Harley, even if you're not going to change anything, just at least get the
I would right. If I was going to do nothing, yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was getting
you
at.
can put the stage 1 on and do nothing with the mufflers and the.
You can not even put the stage 1. Just put
just do the download.
Just do the download.
Sorry, I'm ignorant. I meant the download.
And what we're talking about the download, guys, if you're not familiar, because we don't know who's all listening, is they hook a computer up to your bike, and for about $250, they put a map download into your ECM, your electronic control module for your bike, and it basically remaps it a little bit. It hires your RPM, your rev limiter, gives a little more power, especially if you do decide. And with that map, you can pretty much, it's just a real basic map. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's a real basic map.
Real basic map, but what it allows you to do, it doesn't matter what kind of air intake you put on. Doesn't matter what kind of headers you put on. Doesn't matter what kind of mufflers, slip-ons you put on. It kind of works for everything, but it's not the best map. But it works.
Yeah, it is fine. That's fine.
But we're going to talk about some alternatives to that, which is the main. So we answered his question. That is the answer to your question. Do we have a name for that, gentleman? You guys, if you're looking in the show notes.
Yeah, I'll get it. Hold on.
All right, I can get it faster.
Not really.
Let's race. Voicemail. Oh, a guy.
A guy.
I called him. Sorry.
So is that his first name? A and then.
Yeah, right. He didn't leave his name.
His name's Alex Guy.
There you go.
Hey guy.
He didn't.
Did you just hey guy?
Hey guy.
Yes.
Oh, a guy. Hey. Guy.
I don't. Hey guys. Hey guy.
So we've got a lot of information here, and we've got Oscar in the studio, so we're gonna get right into the content, and that is okay. So Oscar, now we've talked about Harley Davidson map and getting a download map, and like I say, I think it cost $250. I did get it. I changed headers and I changed mufflers. I got and again, you can go to lawabidingbiker.com/twin/rounds, and you can see that review video of the Vance and Hein twin/rounds. But when I did that, right when I bought my bike, I said just put the map in it because I didn't know what kind of pipes and headers I was going to put on it. But now, because of you and being a little more educated, and being by no means, I want you guys to know that this is can be a very confusing subject, and it is very confusing if you try to look out on the internet and blogs. And there's so many companies coming out with these auto tuners. The market's getting flooded because they're making a ton of money off of it. So just understand that we are not the know-it-all whatsoever. We are motorcycle riders, avid motorcycle riders. We ride hard. We don't go around a track and just ride on a track to test things. We actually use things. We try to get to the bottom of things. We ride them in real life environments for long distances. And so what we're bringing to you is our knowledge of regular bikers, and what hopefully we can pass some of that on to you and get rid of some of the confusion as far as these goes. Anything to say with that before I move on and open
I'm
it
glad
up?
I could touch your life in a small way.
You did.
I'm
I'm glad.
platonic way.
I'm glad it's all you're touching.
Thank
Dude.
God for that.
It's not right.
Just tell you that
Not right.
straight up.
He is a sexy beast, though.
So this new Vance and Hines, and you guys, I'm going to do copious show notes on this episode, whatever number it is, lawabidingbiker.com/. Actually, are we going to make a permalink for this? Should we?
See.
Okay, let's just make it. Okay, let's just make it. Let me think here. What can I make it? Yeah, so the permalink is going to be lawabidingbiker.com/EFI tuners. So you guys can always refer back to that, or if you want to refer somebody else. And of course, all the emails I get and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and refer people back to this episode that you can listen to it. So I'm looking here, Oscar, and this came out recently, and it is what we're going to talk about for the rest of the episode, guys, is aftermarket fuel injection tuners. Is that a good way to put it, Oscar?
See.
Okay. And the Vance and Hines Fuel Pack 3 just came out. And I will be quite honest with you, I'm pretty stoked about this. And
You would be.
yeah, I know. And it's not quite available yet, and you can get it in the show notes. But the Fuel Pack 3, the way I've read, is going to, they claim it's going to revolutionize fuel management for all new Harleys models. They're going to use an HD LAN system, and it basically connects wirelessly by Bluetooth to any iPhone or Android smartphone. Fuel Pack FP3 is what they're calling it. The Fuel Pack 3 uses flash technology to recalibrate engine parameters. And like Oscar talked a little bit about, mapping for the exhaust system and other performance upgrades downloaded from the expensive library of calibrations developed by
Expansive.
yeah, that's what I meant.
It could be expensive.
Could be expensive. The expansive library of calibrations developed by Vance and Hines. And don't worry, we're going to break this down for you guys. But also standard for the Fuel Pack 3, the way I understand it, is the an auto-tune feature. Which
So I can sing and it makes my voice sound good?
Right, exactly.
Maybe, yeah.
Exactly.
Nothing. I don't know if
need.
anything.
That's what I need, the auto-tune.
There you go. You do.
I got nothing.
And also, I understand, Oscar, is they're going to make use of all factory sensors to add another layer of precision tuning for specific requirements. And that, I guess that includes weather tuning for unique components, which we're going to talk about, or different upgrades of fuel. This can get really technical. And with the Fuel Pack 3, the FP3 module plugged in, there is a live sensor data that can be viewed through the smartphone to display speed, RPM, cylinder head temperature, voltage, gear selection.
It's good to know how hot your head
It
is.
is. It is. My head doesn't get a lot of attention, so all right, never mind.
It doesn't run very hot.
No, I've been married 18 years. Yeah, okay, never mind. All right. Information, you can get your information through your smartphone app user interface for iOS and Android. There are some fitment things. It's going to cost about $350, so just know that before we talk about some others. You must have an iPhone or Android. It is compatible with laptop. It is incompatible with laptop or desktop computers. So you got to have your Android or your iPhone or whatever to get it. It recalibrates your ECM, which I talked about. That stands for electronic control module. Am I correct?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, well, that is, I'm telling you, all Harleys come with that.
Why'd you ask if you're so sure?
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
want to make sure it wasn't like
Oh, roger.
electronic control monitor. It's module, I believe.
Okay. I believe you.
By flash tuning.
good.
All Harleys come with an ECM, just so you guys know, and that's your brain of your bike, basically. The auto-tune feature for added tuning precision, it's capable to display live sensor data while riding. So it actually displays while riding, and you can calibrate and stuff. So that is a little bit about the new Vance & Hine FP3. $350. I'll be quite honest, from what I've read, I'm stoked about it. Oscar doesn't think I should be so stoked about it, probably, so go ahead and just cut me down and talk about this thing.
This is America. Everyone's okay. So you can be comfortable with whatever you want. I won't make fun of you for long.
So if I have
Talk
one
about
of
this
these-
thing.
I got a question from
Yep.
you guys understand this stuff. I don't so much. I just get on my bike and ride the hell out of it.
Well,
But let me
I
ask
don't
you
understand it that much either. Oscar really is the expert in the studio.
Oscar, if I were to purchase one of these, would I need to remap, or does this do all that good stuff for me? Do I need to buy the remap, or can I just plug this bad boy in?
That depends on what you buy. But
Let's say I have a 2014 Street Glide Special,
And he buys the FP3.
and I buy the FP3. Is that all I need?
we're talking about devices that will remap your ECM for you.
Uh-huh.
Some devices will remap your remap.
Okay.
I understand. So, but the question is,
no, you wouldn't. So
Right.
would you pay Harley to remap? No.
That's what I'm saying. Can
No,
I just
you
go
wouldn't.
buy this thing?
yes.
Yes, that's the whole point.
But if you're already remapped with Harley, you can still buy one of
do
these,
it.
and it'll remap Harley's remap.
That's
Yeah.
I don't know about this one. I don't know about the Vance and Hines. The Power Commander will.
I believe this one will too, but
Okay.
I'm not going to swear to that because I don't have it in my notes. But I read on it pretty extensively.
Because I'm thinking down the future, I'll be buying a new bike in about a year or so, and I'm going to remap it. But if for a few hundred, like $150 more bucks or $100 more, I get this and have a lot more options, I might do this. So that's why I'm asking.
Right,
we
because you don't
start
want
at
to go
the-
to Harley and
You button hooked me. I didn't
You don't
know
wanna
you
get
were
button
gonna
hooked.
No, if I can go
Well,
anywhere else and pay the money and get a better product, I will. Other than the bike, I love the bike, but a lot of times there's better accessories out there.
So go with this. So now that answers the question. If you're gonna switch pipes and headers and that kind of stuff, you can get one of these aftermarket auto tuners. So go with that. Speak about the FP3, the Fuel Pack 3, Oscar. Share your knowledge. Feed us. We're hungry.
I can see that. You guys miss a meal or two. Can we start at the very beginning?
Oh God! If we
Please
have to.
do. Please do. Just go because we're running.
All right. So when we talk about mapping, Harley programs your bike to run, or Chevy programs your truck, or Nissan your car to run under a certain set of parameters based on what's coming in and what's going out. So literally, if you bought the Harley Super Tuner, or I had experience with the race tuner. If you bought the Harley Race Tuner and you plug it into your bike,
That's the Screaming Eagle race tuner,
The
right?
Screaming Eagle race tuner. And
You can
plug
buy
it
that
into
from
a
Harley,
bike.
guys.
For 09 and older, or 08 and older.
Right.
Now it's the Super Tuner. Anyway,
Okay.
if you plug it into your bike and plug it into a laptop, you'll literally see a map.
You plug it into the E ECM.
Yep, plug it into the ECM,
Correct.
plug it into your computer. So Harley, on the old bikes, Harley called it MAP, which is manifold absolute pressure, and versus I think it's RPMs, and you can adjust in there the parameters that you want the bike to run. You can adjust timing, you can adjust volumetric efficiency, and you can adjust air fuel ratio in a couple different ways. So on the newer bikes, because they have O2 sensors, that can change things a little bit because you can monitor what's coming in and what's going out.
And the O2 sensors you talked about earlier in the exhaust
In the
pipes.
exhaust.
Right.
Harley puts in narrowband O2 sensors, which means they can read a very narrow AFR. So target AFR,
What's AFR stand for?
it's air fuel ratio.
Okay.
For emissions, I think I might get this wrong. It's either 14.7 parts of air to fuel is the target EPA emissions air fuel ratio, which is pretty lean.
EPA, Environmental Protection Agency.
I could think of lots of terms for that, but
Oh yeah, right.
We're
Yeah,
gonna go
that's the nice term. Yeah.
So Harley uses a narrowband. So when the FP3 talks about using stock sensors, they're talking about using the narrowband sensors. If you wanted to pre-program your AFRs for less than, I think, the narrowbands read it to 13.7, they wouldn't be able to read it. So my first issue with the FP3 is
very nice.
if you wanted to pre-program like a 12.8, which is super rich for high throttle, high RPM load, the narrowbands wouldn't be able to read it. So they would be running an open loop, which is just reading the map. The whole point of a O2 sensor is to constantly monitor the system and make adjustments to the air or to the fuel delivery so your bike runs optimally.
So real quick, and then I want you to pick right up where you left off, just to keep this in perspective for the listening audience and for Matt,
Thank you.
because he's over there just
No,
like,
I feel like the listening audience right now. That's why I asked the question.
So what you're saying is the Fuel Pack 3 uses the stock O2 sensors to tap into the right. Where what we're going to talk about later is like the Power Commander, which uses
Or
you
the
actually
TTS.
you actually replace the stock
Right.
O2 sensor. I just want to get that out,
Yes.
guys, so we're not confusing people. So the Fuel Pack 3 uses the built-in Hardy O2 sensors. It taps into the ECM, And however, there's some other aftermarket products which we'll get to, like the Power Commander Auto Tuner, that actually I've read on it. It comes with an actual different O2 sensor,
Right.
that reads a lot better than the stock.
A wider
range,
band, wider range of AFR.
auto fuel ratio,
air fuel
ratio, sorry,
or auto fuel ratio, or
yeah, something
whatever.
Like that. All right.
So the other thing is, I researched Vance and Hines, their original fuel pack, and so if you look at how they program or how they send you maps, it's not a map. They're sending you fuel values, which means that you don't really have any control over. You're just taking what they tell you is good and plugging in these numbers, which is fine. It's the same
that's
thing
the
that
map.
That's
Right.
the map. That's the same thing Harley does with their stage 1 download or a cam recalibration.
And to break that down real quick for guys, what we're talking about is, so you say, you put a basic map, or some of these like the Power Commander 5, which we'll talk about, you basically say, okay, I'm putting on these headers and I'm putting on this intake and I'm putting on, this, and you give it, and then they have a map made up for that, a stock map.
Vance and Hines gives you a series of
Right.
numbers, and you plug it into the fuel or into
You
the
type
fuel
them
pack.
into the fuel pack.
Yep, you just type the numbers right into the fuel pack, and then it's programmed for you, which is fine. For some people, that's pretty easy.
And that's all you have to do.
That's all you have to do.
Right.
Yep, that's it.
And we'll get to that. Okay, go ahead.
So none of these rigs, none of the bikes, cars, maybe your bicycle or your horse, fine, come from the factory running optimally. They all run within a very safe set of parameters. And I know that because I have a tuner on my truck, and it was an amazing difference.
Which ultimately, the listening audience, ultimately what we're talking about here is power loss. It's stock, and you can get a whole bunch more power out of your engine by doing these things, correct?
You can get low end, you can get torque, which is power at low end, or
yeah.
you can get horsepower, which is power at the high end. When I say high end, high RPMs, torque is power at the low RPMs. Mm-hmm. It just depends on what you want. The system gives you the flexibility to get one or the other. Usually, especially with bikes, you can't get both. You can't get a lot of torque and a lot of horsepower. You're going to pick one or the other. So guys with lighter bikes, the Dynas and the Softails, usually pick programs that give them a little bit of horsepower, which is power at the high RPMs. Touring bikes like ours, guys usually take torque or power at the low RPMs.
So when you're doing those passes and stuff, and you're getting
You're
on
weighted
it,
down.
you're weighted down, and you got to get on it.
And I have junk in my trunk.
Oh,
Quite a bit of
Yes,
junk
you
in
do.
my
you like being torqued too.
I didn't really. I wasn't going to go there.
Sorry.
I was all sweaty earlier, and now I'm starting to mold.
All right, go ahead. Move on.
So the FP3, for the original
Fuel pack 3.
for the original fuel pack, how they deliver their map, I was a little disappointed. It's pretty simplistic, which is fine. I read about the FP3. The auto tune using the narrowband O2 sensors is limited, and they're talking about different fuels, and I read some theory, not just blogs, but I read some theory papers and some technical bulletins about how fuel works and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know how they're going to accommodate for E90, E85. You just can't. There's nothing you can do to the motor that can accommodate for the ethanol that I've been able to read about so far. So if they're talking about fuel types like 92 versus 87, that has to do with advances in the timing.
Okay.
And so there's two types of timing: cam timing and ignition timing. We're going to talk about ignition timing. So when you advance the ignition timing to a certain point, you build up pressure in the cylinder. If your cylinder's too hot, it pops too soon. Oh, damn it.
I hate it when it pops too soon.
So the 87.
So you're telling me you get or you get early detonation?
You get knock.
You get pre
accidental detonation.
Accidental detonation.
Dude. All right, go ahead.
So the way I like to think about it for 87 versus 92 octane is the 92 octane is less volatile, so it doesn't pre-discharge detonate under advanced timing. And so we could do a whole podcast on timing.
I did that a lot in high school. Pre-detonation.
And it happens it happens to amateurs, but
Right.
it's not a big deal. You grow out of it when you're 40. It's fine.
Okay.
So I don't know what they're.
Then you just stop detonating.
Counting all the ass on the roof.
That's so
Well, I'm
uncalled
definitely
for.
not alone.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm trying to keep this
I
mature.
know, you're right.
And you guys are leading me down that road.
Go ahead, because we got a lot of information here.
I'm just
I
trying
don't.
to
So I
stay
don't know.
awake.
I don't know what Vance and Hines is talking about. Different fuel types. All I can think of is either the ethanol mix or octane. To me, that doesn't make any sense based on everything that I've read. I picked the Power Commander.
So before we move to that, so what you're saying is, and we can do this because this is our podcast.
See?
What you're saying is your review of the Fuel Pack 3, from what you know, which is not quite available yet. They
Right.
sure are advertising the heck out of it. And
They
looks
are.
cool to me. They got me, but I may not after I listen to you. Is a piece of crap. Is that what you're saying? A piece of crap.
I think what
I'd
he's
say
saying
it's-
is it's not advanced enough for him. He likes to have the option to.
But what about me
I'd say
for
it's-
$350 option
How about
to
me?
to remap my remap, which I've already because I've already had the Harley remap. Do you think it's worth $350 with the option to hook my iPhone up to it and all that? Do you think it's going to benefit me in torque? Which is what I'm looking at. I want some more. I love the power of my 2014 Street Guide Special, but of course I always want more power.
He wants a little more thrust.
Oh, whoa!
I just want to thrust like crazy.
And especially if you have the early discharge, you want to thrust
Right.
all you can
Well,
because
Charge.
you don't have long to thrust.
detonation. Sorry.
Detonation.
If you had a heavier,
Right.
I got it. Nothing.
Well, if you're going to thrust, and only a few times, you want to make sure they're good thrusts. Okay, go ahead.
I got it.
Do we need to pause?
Can we stop?
Okay. All right, go ahead. Because Couch, Lurch had a call coming in and want to make sure. Go ahead. Go.
I'm going to say no.
So
I
very
mean, I
good.
just know there's not enough about it yet, and based on their earlier models, I think it's too limited for $350.
How about their pre-Fuel Pack 3 models? Do you think they're worth it at all? We're not going to talk
I
about
don't.
them. Okay.
I didn't buy it for that reason.
And so obviously we have no affiliations here, so we're talking freely, which we'll do on this podcast. Even we do have an affiliation at some point. We're always going to tell you the truth of what we think. We're never going to try to sell you on something that we know to be a piece of crap for no amount of money. We'll stay true and transparent here at the Law Abiding Biker Podcast. So, but neither of these we have any affiliation with. Because I'm actually for the until I listen to you here, and you may sell me. So, the Fuel Pack 3 by Vance and Hines, or any of the Fuel Packs by Vance and Hines, you're not a big fan of.
I am not.
All right, and I will tell you, you guys should take Oscar's word for it because he knows a heck of a lot more about this than me. And so let's move on. There are so many out there. Off the top of your head, Oscar, before we get to the DynoJet, the DynoJet Power Commander 5 and the DynoJet Auto Tuner, have you done any other major research or any other brands that you would like stay away from that? Or
That I would stay away from?
yeah, because you would stay away from Vance and Hines, not their pipes, but their tuners.
The tuner.
Right?
The reasons why I went with the Power Commander don't entirely include the Power Commander itself. A lot of guys have a lot of luck with the TTS Master Tune, and the
That's TTS Master Tune.
Boobies.
They make one.
Good call.
Mm.
And from what I saw of the old SE Screaming Eagle race tuner,
And that's the Harleys.
yep, that's Harley's. It was
Do they use the stock O2 sensors? So it's a narrow loop?
the new Super Tuner would, but the old one that I had, the race tuner, did not because my bike didn't have my 06.
Right.
Light didn't-
Open loop and not a closed loop.
Thank you.
I'm listening.
Good work.
Right. So but what I'm saying is the new Harley Davidson Screaming Eagle tuner,
The Super Tuner does.
Super Tuner uses the stock.
It uses the stock
So
ones.
it's still narrowband.
Narrowband. Right.
Okay, go ahead.
So the TTS I can't even say that fast.
TTS.
Master Tuner.
Master Tuner.
Boobies.
Look, it's not an add-on box. It's not boobies. Could be.
It's not boobies. It's a box.
It's
Moving on.
we are never gonna get anywhere.
Keep going.
Um,
Just turn my mic off.
It was just like the race tuner that I had on my old bike, the 06, and afforded a whole bunch of options. A lot of guys are using those, and they're having great success. As far as I can tell, they require either technical knowledge of mapping, which I don't have. I played with a
Which means, explain that you played with, yeah, okay. So, but what I'm saying is it's very technical. You can get very technical with these where, you have to have, obviously the laptop, and you can really tweak stuff within,
You basically-
and you can screw your bike up.
You can, and I on my 06, I had the race tuner, and So I downloaded different maps and I played with the timing, and I'd go out and ride 10 or 15 miles and I'd come back and see how it was. And there was a couple times I got some loud explosions,
Some backfires,
Pre-detonation.
some pre-detonation, and it was a
Yes.
little ugly, and I knew that probably wasn't the map.
Go ahead.
I had that awkward silence for a minute.
Yeah.
So the guys, basically auto engineers, if you have that level of expertise, you can buy the TTS and then plug it in and start playing with your box and your air fuel ratio, your timing, volumetric efficiency. Most people that are buying that are taking it to a dyno tuner. And so,
What is a dyno tuner? I know what it is. But
yeah, let's back it up.
Okay.
So other than the Harley Stage 1 download, or if you get Harley cams, 255, 259, whatever, Harley will reprogram your bike. So if you get cams, Harley will reprogram your bike for their specs. Other than that, if you want to tune your bike, you need an add-on. So you need the Screaming Eagle Super Tuner or the Power Commander. You need the FP3.
Right. And there's tons of others we haven't even talked about.
Yeah,
the market's flooded with these things.
So if you want to tune your bike, you're going to end up having to buy something.
Right.
If you just want to go with the Stage 1 download, that's fine.
Right.
You don't have to do anything else.
And that's what I did at this point.
But every time you upgrade anything with the bike, you're going to have to pay for a new
Upgrade
retune.
anything with the fuel management and the exhaust and intake.
And the cams and
And
the
the-
heads.
right, okay,
and,
right.
And the fuel into the throttle body.
Okay.
If you do potentially a sprocket change, if you do that stuff, you're going to end up having to pay Harley over and over and over for
Right.
remapping.
Yep. Very.
And
yep.
then it's not even going to be optimal.
If you're
it's
just-
just going to be basic.
Right.
So guys with the TTS and some of the other stuff are going to dyno tuners. There's a guy in Portland. He's one of the
Auto
experts.
tuners or dyno tuners.
No, the people that own a dynamometer or dyno.
Right,
We call
right.
them dyno tuners.
Which is what you get on your bike, and it has the big belt,
Yeah.
and you can just wrap your bike out, and it
Yep.
checks how much power. If you guys don't, they have them at like Sturgis and stuff. That you can,
There's a guy in Portland at Latest. He is a genius, but I called on my 06 to see what he would do, and it was going to cost me $300 every time I changed something.
Yep.
And that's when I already had. Well, my bike came with the race tuner.
Right.
But if I would have bought the race tuner for $350, take it to him for $300, and then I changed cams, so back to him for another $300, and so on
Yep.
and so forth. So it led me to the Power Commander 5.
Right, which we're going to dive into. And if you guys haven't seen, we do have a video for sale, very reasonable price, and it is how to completely install a Power Commander, a DynoJet Power Commander 5, which is very popular, onto your bike, and get it all locked down and plugged into your ECM, your stock ECM. And that's lawabidingbiker.com/Power Commander and the number 5. So /Power Commander number 5. So anyways, we've got a video on that, and then we're going to do some more videos because we're going to get an auto tuner. So let's talk about what the first thing, if you don't want to get the Harley map, you can go out and buy, and like I said, there's tons of difference. We don't have enough time, so we're going to stick to the DynoJet Power Commander 5. And tell us what that does. If you and that's all you have to get if you want, right? That's all you've been running right now.
That's all I'm running right now.
So it plugs into your electronic control module. It doesn't plug into your O2 sensors or nothing. It actually isn't too difficult, but the video is very helpful. Because you guys did one. Did you guys do one on Chewy's bike too?
We did.
Yeah, because you guys asked me for the video that we made. Yeah.
Okay, I forgot how to do it.
Yeah,
It was
you
so
did.
long.
And we made such a good video. He said, "Send me the video," so I sent it over to you guys. But
It took us like 20 minutes.
right. So, but it'll take you 20 minutes, especially if you buy that video, because you won't have to read through all the complicated instructions. We just break it down and get rid of all the crap and show you how to do it. So go ahead. What is the what does the DynoJet Power Commander 5 do out of the gate?
The Power Commander 5, I bought it from a company called pre-programmed for the exhaust and the intake.
Power Commander 5.
Yep.
Okay.
Bought it pre-programmed. You can get it in a whole bunch of places. Power Commander itself, they actually had a map already I could download from their website with my exhaust and my intake. And then I can run it just as it is, or I can actually open up the air fuel ratios. The thing I liked about the Power Commander over the Harley, when I had the Harley Race Tuner, the Harley Race Tuner used, instead of throttle position, they used manifold air pressure, which is not a linear scale. So 20% manifold air pressure, was not 20% throttle. And it was, I never fully wrapped my head around it. In the Power Commander, they go 0 to 100% throttle, and then increments of 250 RPM. So if I want to go in any cell, so literally I'm looking at a graph. If I want to go in at 10% throttle at 3,000 RPMs and change the air-fuel ratio or change the timing, advance or retard, then I can. Makes it pretty simple. If I wanted to get in and play with all the maps, I could.
Yes, and you do that with a laptop. You hook it right up to your, in that particular model, you hook it up to your laptop, and you can get crazy detailed about what you want to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I, in the interest of keep moving here, when we talk about the Power Commander 5, in the mat, just so you know, it has a lot. You can actually hook up a shifter deal to it too. So it's actually leans your bike out. It doesn't lean it out. I shouldn't say that. It actually, when you get to a certain RPM, I should say, or when you're ready to shift, you set it and it actually dumps the fuel to your cylinder.
Right.
It actually shuts it down so you don't have that pressure in your transmission, and you can shift without a clutch.
It's speed shifting.
It's speed shifting.
It allows you to speed shift.
It allows you to speed shift, and that's a really weird way to tell you guys, but hopefully that's understandable. But you basically set it so at certain time it dumps your fuel and to your cylinder, and you don't have the back pressure on your transmission, so you can easily shift without a clutch. This gets crazy.
Yeah,
and I don't want to do any of this because this is like
that's race stuff.
It's like drag racing.
Yeah, and there's a map switching function. So you can have two different maps loaded on the fly. You can switch maps.
Right.
Or if you suddenly go from, the desert to the Colorado Rockies, you can switch from a lean map to a rich map, or vice versa or whatever. And there's a lot of stuff. It's got a plug-in for an LCD readout you can mount on your handlebars that does everything the FP3 does. Only
I could do it with my iPhone. I don't have to buy the extra LCD monitor.
You can't do it with your iPhone yet. It's only Android supported, which is a bunch of garbage. But hopefully they'll come around.
Oh, they will, because the FP3 came out.
Right.
Vance and Hines, and they're going to be like, uh-oh.
Right.
So let's break it down for audience. So we're not going to get that advanced with you guys because we don't use that. We don't get that advanced with it. I mean, you have played with it.
A little bit.
But let's talk about what our general audience is going to use a Power Commander 5 for, and how simple it is to get more out of their bike without being complicated. And that is just simply, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just going to break it down in an understandable manner. And that is, you don't have to, you put new intake, you put new pipes on. Most companies that sell them, which we're not going to talk about because I don't have an affiliate. There are some good ones out there that I've talked to, but we're trying to obviously monetize the show a little bit because we put a lot of work into it. At some point we may mention them, but you can look around yourself and buy it from who you want. But basically you can buy the DynoJet Power Commander 5, and most companies that you buy it from, you can just tell them, hey, and I'm put this kind of pipes and I put this air intake on, and they send it to you already installed with the map that you need for that particular setup at a cost of what is it? I put it in the notes here. Do you guys see it?
$399.
No, $379 for the Power Commander 5. $399 is the auto tuner, which we'll get to. So for the Power Commander 9, you're looking around $379, and hopefully it will come with the map that you need. And if it doesn't,
you can go right to DynoJet's website. Right. They have a lot of maps.
And so you go to their website, what Oscar's talking about, and you basically say, you tell them, this is the kind of pipe, this is the intake I can. They do a little download. You hook your laptop up to the Power Commander 5 and you dump that map into it. And you don't have to put any specific cylinders or that's just a basic map like Harley does. It's a little bit better, but it does cost $379 for that Power Commander 5. But there's a lot you can do from there.
And once you can take it to a dyno tuner.
There you go. And they can plug into your Power Commander 5.
Yep, and they can do a complete tune for you.
They can plug their laptop in. So if you do end up at a dyno and you really want to, at Sturgis or, your city has one, you can really, once that's installed, it gives them the ability to plug in and
do a better tune if you
have an expert do it, so to speak. So that's what the Power Commander 5 is at, like I say, $379. So it's a really good alternative to getting the Harley map, and it opens you up for the life of your bike anytime you upgrade or you change, pipes or intakes, or you want to do more to your bike.
And there's one actually,
you can get a new map and just download it and upload it to your Power Commander 5. It's that simple.
One important thing that the Harley Race and Super Tuners do, like the tuner I have for my truck, is they mate to your bike. So once you connect the Super Tuner to your bike, it VIN locks to your bike, and I can't give it to Lurch or the Prez. The Auto Tuner and the Power Commander 5 don't mate. So if you put it on there...
Which one did you say mates?
The Harley one does.
Oh, right.
And so does the Master.
Because they don't want you selling it to somebody
Right.
else. It's a whole... Yeah.
The Power Commander, if I plug it in and it doesn't work out and I hate it, I can sell it.
You can
I
sell
give
it
it
on
away.
eBay.
I can sell it. I can do whatever I want with it. The same with their Auto Tuner. So, I mean, that's pretty good. If I get a map that I really... Now with the...
I would go with the Power Commander 5 over the Screaming Eagle Harley one. I'll just tell you that right now. That's me because of that reason right there.
Some guys don't like the add-on box, and the Power Commander's an add-on box. It stays on the bike. The Harley...
And we show that in the video, for sale video, and it's easy to... There's a little Velcro. It's not very big. It fits right under your seat. You don't even know.
The other one's Flash, the computer. So the Harley, the Master Tune, the FP3... What they do is you plug them in, you download the map, they download it to the ECM, you pull the box off.
So the stock electronic control module stores it on those ones, and so you don't have an extra box under your seat.
It actually, like the Harley one changes.
The way I see it, the more boxes, the better.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's a good segue into our next topic.
Yes, it is. That's one for me. Go ahead.
One of the beauties of the Power Commander is if I'm on the road and something happens to it, and I've read some blogs, guys did this. I'm on the road, something happens to it for whatever reason, I take it off.
And you're back to your stock electronic control module.
And I'm
very
down
good
the
call.
road. Yeah.
Very good call. Something I never thought about.
Yeah. So, and one of the Harley mechanics told me, though, if there's something wrong with your bike, we'll take it off. I'm like, no, I'll take it off. And then I'll bring it down to you. And if it fixes the problem, I'll send it back to Power Commander or DynoJet and have them send me a new one.
Right.
Once you reflash,
and they back their product good because they're the most popular one. I'll just tell you that right now. Yeah.
But once you reflash the ECM, that stock map is gone and the new map takes place. So if you're stuck somewhere and you have to take that stage one intake off and put a stock one on, it's not going to hurt it. But either way,
right, you're stuck with that internal ECM map on your stock ECM. Very, very. That's very good information that I did not know. So thank you for that, Oscar. So that is, in a nutshell, the Power Commander 5, okay? And it gives you a lot of ability to expand, a lot of things to do, but if you want to just simply do it like we told you and get that Power Commander 5, get the map or have who you buy it from, have it all set, and it's kind of like a plug and play. And but you will have the extra little box under there, but no big deal. That way you can go to the dyno and all that. Now, once you have the power, did I skip over anything major? Because I want to move into, which we're going to do on your bike here really soon. And I think I might just do the FP3 just so we can talk about it on
that'd be cool.
Maybe we'll get, and if I don't like it, I'm going to see if they have a money back guarantee.
Even better.
I'm going to call Vance and Hine and say, hey, I'm willing to test this, but if it doesn't do what I think, I don't know, maybe, I haven't read if they have a money back guarantee or not, but
it might just suck and we'll point and laugh, but it's fine too. Yeah.
It might, and it probably will because you were pretty diverse on this. But I just, I hadn't seen. Well, it isn't out yet, so I haven't seen any blogs on it or anything. But so once you have, move back to the DynoJet Power Commander 5. You have that on. You've got the stock, so to speak, map that's mapped. Not anything technical. We're going to get away from that a little bit, but you've just got the map in for your pipes and your intake. And now let's talk about an add-on auto tuner. Now,
because when we put the Power Commander on my bike,
now the Fuel Pack 3 basically says it does all this.
It does.
Right. Okay. The Vance & Hines Fuel Pack 3 says it does all this for $350. You don't have to get a box and an auto tuner. It's all in one.
Right.
Okay. Now the DynoJet, you buy the Power Commander 5 box and then
an add-on auto.
Now you can add on if you like. You don't have to if you like because you've been running forever with the Power Commander 5 since we put it on. Now you can buy a DynoJet auto tuner.
Right. That plugs into the Power Commander 5.
Real quick, is it fair to say that other brands of auto tuners, you can't grab any other brand auto tuner and plug it into the Power Commander 5?
Right.
Okay, so there you go, guys. If you're gonna do Vance & Hines Power Commander 5 and an auto tuner, it's got to be all from DynoJet, and I assume it's the same for any other plug and play. They got to play together,
right?
And they don't cross match those. So
you don't want your boxes playing with other boxes.
No, and you don't know where the other boxes. You don't know where the other boxes have been or come from.
True.
And
they may not plug into the same.
It could be a broken box.
It could. Be very
dirty.
careful. You want a clean, fresh box. Okay. All right, we're running out of time here, and this is an awesome, very informational episode. So go ahead, and now we're moving on to the auto tuner, and we're going to buy the auto tuner for Oscar's bike. What are we going to do with? Now we talked about the Power Commander 5, which we can get in and we can hook a laptop to it, and boy, we can manipulate stuff, we can change stuff, we can even make our bike run really crappy. Auto tuner is awesome because it is exactly what the name says, and that is it auto-tunes your bike. Explain that to me.
When we installed the Power Commander 5, we actually took my O2 sensors completely out.
And we plugged them.
The auto-tune comes, so the Harley stock are 12 millimeter narrowband. The auto-tune comes with 18 millimeter wideband O2 sensors.
What do you mean by the 18 millimeter measurement?
It's the size of the thread and the size of the O2 sensor that plugs into the exhaust.
Right, but they'll still screw into the stuff. Oh, they won't?
No, you'll have to get weld-in bungs.
Oh, you're kidding.
So you
got to mess with your bung?
One's capped, and then you'll have to put new bungs?
You got to bung one cap, one bung, and bung. I got nothing.
You cap the current bungs.
You'd cap the 12s, and you would.
So what he's talking about is the pipes, which you have what?
I have D&D Fat Cats.
D&D Fat Cats, and it wouldn't matter if you had Vance and Hines or the stock headers. Those are smaller thread patterns.
12 millimeter.
Standard,
12 millimeter.
standard
So you've got to drill and put new bungs in?
You'd have to retap new. The D&Ds I ordered.
That sucks.
I ordered the Fat Cats that came with the 18 millimeters ahead of time because I knew I was going to do the auto tune. So you could
So you plugged them with 18 millimeters at this point.
Yep. Yeah.
Look at this guy.
I did that on purpose.
Thinking ahead.
It's
He
the first
squared
time
away.
I tried it. I thought, I'll think ahead. Not with my head.
Right.
Or some.
So 18 millimeter you've got plugged right now. So, but when you do get the auto tuner, it comes with the new bungs.
It would come
Holes.
with the
Sorry,
bungs.
I said it. Sorry.
Good work.
All right.
Someone had to carpe diem.
I did. Go ahead.
Carpe bung them. Yeah. So if you're gonna do stock headers, you're gonna have to. It can't be that expensive. Exhaust shop can either rethread or weld new bungs in for you.
Right, and one
Not a
goes in
big
each
deal.
pipe. The
Right.
bungs. Yeah.
Not a big deal. Comes with
Who does it? A Harley shop?
I'm sure they could do it. You could probably take it to an exhaust shop. It's not a big deal.
Do you have to have it welded?
That's what the instructions say. You have to weld in new bungs. So they'll have to cut a hole and weld it in because the threads are on the outside or they protrude.
That kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, it
but
could
whatever.
be. Yeah.
You thought ahead, but now if I wanted to do that, I don't know. That's a lot of,
It could be. I think I'd have to look on Power Commander's website because
why did they do that?
They may make a 12 millimeter wideband because they distinguish between the years of bikes. So it just depends. So that's something I didn't research that. I didn't really think about it because mine's already set up that way. You plug that in, and then it does using their wideband O2 sensors does what the Harley O2 sensors would do with the addition of the fact that I can change the target AFRs. So if Harley's O2 sensors, air fuel ratio. Harley's is all set up for emissions, not for performance, not for fuel economy, not for power.
Because the EPA is all over them, and they're a big company, and they got deep pockets. Yeah,
motorcycles make a lot of emissions. I mean, they are polluting the world everywhere.
Our ozone's gone because of it.
Yeah, and the
I'm going to stop riding my motorcycle.
It's actually cow farts.
That's methane production.
I'm not riding anymore. Our air, I can't even breathe.
I know. I don't know what we're going to do.
Those darn Harleys.
And then all it does is monitor. It does constant live monitoring of the air fuel ratio. And
the auto tuner does.
The auto tuner
plugged into the Power Commander 5.
And it also allows you then to go into the maps for the auto tuner and change the target air fuel ratio if you want. And so if you do a lot of highway riding and you're cruising at the low RPM, high speeds, low throttle, you can set it for a little leaner so you can get better gas mileage. If you're doing a lot of twisties, mountain riding where you're on the throttle a lot, high RPMs, you can make it a little richer for more power.
Do you do that by plugging a computer in?
You would do that by
laptop?
Yep. You plug it into the
auto tuner.
And then the maps come up, and then you can just adjust whatever you want. Now, with the auto tuner, you can't adjust timing, but with the Power Commander 5, you can adjust timing if you want to play with timing. It's complicated.
But let's just say I'm a simple guy, and I get the regular map for the Power Commander 5, and now I just plug the auto tuner into it, and I go out with the auto tuner, and I ride for a while, and it auto tunes.
It will.
And it plugs it into the Power Commander 5.
Yep.
And then I'm done, and I can remove the auto tuner. Because I don't have to keep the auto tuner on there.
So if you want to remove the auto tuner, you have to actually go you have to plug your computer into the auto tuner on the bike, and then you have to accept the changes because it'll make changes to your base map. So if you want to take it, some guys do that. They're not going to make any other changes to their bike, and they're going to ride for 2 or 3 months and let it make an ideal map, and then they're going to sell it. So you would,
because that's what a lot of guys do.
They do that,
and
or they rent it.
I suggest that to you guys. Get a group of 3, 4, 5 guys. Cut the cost of a auto tuner, which is $399, a Power Commander auto tuner, because once you get your map and you're comfortable with it, and you're not going to make a lot of changes, and if you do later, you can borrow it back,
right?
And then you just pass it around, because everybody has to buy their own Power Commander 5,
right?
Because that plugs in. But the auto tuner you only need for a little while to figure out how you ride,
right?
And then bam, you can pass it on to the next guy, and he can plug it into his Power Commander 5. So just be aware, you can save yourself a lot of money if you get a group of guys and just buy one auto tuner. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then they call them trims. So you accept the trims. And you keep riding and riding.
You guys are killing me.
And the
we're talking
value,
boxes, bungs, trim.
This is
It's an action-packed episode.
It is, really is.
It's got some dual meaning.
So go ahead with the trim, because I was really intrigued.
So when your trim values are high, then it shows you that the auto tuner is making a lot of adjustment to the base map. After you ride for, guys are saying 2 to 4 weeks max, that those trim values come down from like a trim value of 40 would be a 40% change from the base map. So after a month of good riding, it's down to 1, which is or like 0.1. So it's not making any more changes. Some guys keep it and they leave it running in live. So if they're going from the desert in California up through the Colorado Rockies, it's changing the air fuel ratio based on elevation,
right,
and that kind of thing. So I'm going to keep mine. Let guys, someone wants to borrow it, they can borrow it. I'm going to keep it.
I probably will.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably now I may buy the Power Commander 5, but yeah. But so you're going to keep it, or you're just going to keep it on your bike all the time unless somebody wants to borrow it?
Right.
But if you want to pass it around, what you need to do then, once you're comfortable that it's auto-tuned your bike, you plug your laptop in, you accept what it says you should be.
Keep doing that. So we're going to plug in the auto-tune, and I'll come over maybe in the morning. We'll wire it up, plug it in.
To my Power Commander 5.
To the Power Commander 5.
I'll go ride.
We'll go ride for 25, 30 miles, right up to Ellensburg and back or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come back. I'll plug it back into the laptop. I'll accept all the trims. And then if we have time, we'll go ride to Toppenish and back. And then I'll do it again. And then once those trims are down to like 1 or less than 1, I don't have to do it anymore. I can take it off. Or I can leave it in live mode and just leave it on there and just let it.
But hang on, because we're skipping ahead a little bit. So we've done that, and our trims are down to 1.
Then you're done.
But do I have to then, because you said I have to hook my laptop up and accept it, do I then have to hook my laptop to the Power Commander 5 and let it know?
No.
What am I hooking my laptop up for, though?
You'd have to hook your laptop to the Power Commander 5 and disable auto-tune.
Okay.
So it's not reading the O2 sensors anymore. Because if you just take it off and don't disable it, it still thinks it's going to try and read the O2 sensors. So there's just one function in the Power Commander 5 when you plug it into your laptop. It says enable auto tune.
Right.
You do that, it starts reading. The auto tune works.
So what you're doing is just disabling the auto tune by plugging it in. Thank you.
At the very
at the very end, you're plugging your laptop in. Everything's down to 1, and you're saying, "Yes, I accept it."
Yes.
You're turning it off, and the Power Commander 5 knows it's off now, and it's not going to be looking for it.
Right. And then you've got a fairly
you're
ideal base map. Yeah.
Right. So you're mapped. Okay. Does that make sense, Matt?
Yeah.
Because you're a listening audience.
Yeah.
I just wanted to break it down so people understand, and so I understand.
I'm tracking, baby.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So that and that's where and then you could pass it off to your buddy to do his. Or the other option is you can, if you want to buy your own, you don't ever have to hook a laptop up, and you just keep it plugged in, and it's constantly auto tuning for you.
That's the way I understand it. Right.
Keeping the ideal map for you.
Right.
Very cool. All right. So, do you believe in your mind that it is, because you're looking at $379 for the Power Commander 5, around $399 for the auto tuner, so around with tax and everything, $800. Do you think that you get? Is it just kind of a motorhead thing where, okay, I got to get this and I want the max out of my bike, and it's a motorhead, ooh, look at me? Or do you think it's worth the $800 and you really get that much more out of your... Let's not talk about dyno, tuning. Let's just talk about the average law-abiding biker out there buys a Power Commander 5 and an auto tuner for his $800 and just auto tuning it. Is he going to get that much more out of his bike where he's like, wow, that was worth $800? Or is this more of a, I really care about every little bit I get out of my bike just because I love motors, and break that down for me.
If you're just, I think it's probably like 80%, a little bit gearhead, 20% worth it. Like if you're just going to get a nice 15 Street Glide special and you're just going to do some exhaust and intake for the money and you're never going to do anything else, the Stage 1 download's probably
the
fine.
Harley Stage 1 250 download is worth it.
It's probably fine.
Okay.
When I bought my first Harley, the salesman I bought it from, he said, I said, I'm just going to ride this. And he goes, no, you won't. So I've accepted the fact that I'm going to do other stuff to it. I just can't help it. I can't stop.
No, and that's your motorhead. Yeah.
Right. So if you're going to do anything more, if you're going to do cams, and in these bikes, the cams make such a huge difference. If you're going to do cams, intake, anything like that, and we're talking the 103s and bigger.
And we're going to do another episode on cams because we were talking about that today about, I have the 255 and that's a whole nother episode. That's awesome. But we will be, guys, stay tuned because we're going to be talking about the cam upgrades, which are fairly reasonable now. And we actually may do it ourselves and do a video on it. But anyways,
I plugged in the Power Commander with the map that I got. And I read some of the blogs. The guys complain about the 103 and 6 gear not being able to go uphill. And I'll tell you what, fully loaded with the old lady on there in 6 gear, even going to the steep grades to Ellensburg, I don't have to shift down. So I think the combo of the Power Commander, the intake, and the exhaust made a big difference.
So here's and here's the deal. So you buy a new Harley, you got two choices: get the 250 one-time download from Harley and hope you never do anything else to your bike like I did. Or go ahead and spend the extra $100 or $125, whatever, and get the $379 Power Commander 5, and it does the same thing. It remaps you, just as good as the Harley download, but then you can always expand from there.
And that's exactly why I bought it.
Okay,
because I can it's a little bit more money.
You never know if you will, but at least you can expand from there.
$125. I mean,
and if you sell your bike, you can pull it off. You can sell your bike without it, and your ECM's fine.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah,
because you can always put it on your next bike or sell it on eBay. So, yeah. All right, guys. Let's wrap it up because I'm sorry, but this is an awesome subject. We may do a follow up. We're actually going to do follow up episodes on it because you're going to get the auto tuner. I might try. I'm definitely going to get probably the Power Commander 5, but I might try this Fuel Pack 3 just to prove to you that it doesn't work. But we'll see if they have a money back guarantee. I'll let you guys know. I'm going to call Vance and Hines and pick their brain on it. But what do you have to wrap up? Because we got to close this episode out because it's going a little long.
I got nothing.
If you're a motorhead and you like trim,
you want flexibility.
Bungs, if you like trim, bungs,
boxes,
torque, boxes, throttling people,
and adjusting your timing.
Then you'll want to definitely get an auto tuner and a EFI mapping device.
That way you can avoid premature detonation.
Yeah, because if you got trims and bungs, the timing has to be right.
Right, yes. And make sure you...
Very well put.
To wrap it up, just make sure you always buy a fresh, clean box. Okay, dude. This is dumb. But you guys, thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you, Oscar, seriously. Lurch for being in the studio.
I can ride my bike with no handlebars.
Oh, attaboy. And you guys are awesome. Sorry we didn't get to any emails. There are people donating. Thank you so much. I will announce it. We just had a absolutely packed episode. Don't forget you can leave us a voicemail, lawabidingbikers.com/voicemail/voice message or /contact if you want to leave an email or voicemail. Of course, don't forget our phone number, 509-731-3548. You can call directly, leave a message. We have a ton of input. I have a ton of stuff to get to. Like I say, sorry we can't get to all of it anymore, but we're humbled. We're growing so fast, and it's because of you guys. We do this for you guys. So thank you so much. Don't forget to sign up for the email club. Get it all, and get it all first at lawabidingbiker.com/email club. Rate us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio. Keep the rubber side down and the
shiny side up.
Attaboy. We're out.
Like
Peace.